Coming up on Channel 8 News, a general, a singer, and the ups and downs of love.
As well as our animal guest.
It looks as if the weather may have finally taken a turn for the better.
It was far too cold for far too long.
It was. Let's go to our weatherman, Matt Harrison, to see what it's like outside. Matt?
Well, guys, as you can see, it is a gorgeous day, and as you can see behind me with a lot of the melting snow, winter appears to be losing. We have plenty of melting snow around us. We actually have a mound right here next to us. Let's take a look and have a talk. Snow, how you doing? You melting okay? No comment from the snow. Well, as I have said, winter seems to be losing. Right back to you guys.
It's Channel 8 News, KKSU LP. From Manhattan and Riley County. From Kansas State University, this is Channel 8 News.
Welcome to Kansas State University's Channel 8 News, a production of the A.Q. Miller School of Journalism and Mass Communications. I'm Kathy Dahl.
And I'm Shanna Schmidt. Coming up on today's show, we have a lot of fun, including what could be your next family pet, Riley County sports, and the week's weather forecast.
But first, the news.
K-State got a visit from one of its most famous alumni recently. Instructor Deborah Skidmore welcomed a special guest speaker into our public relations class.
That's right, Shanna, and many lectures may leave students looking for the snooze button. That certainly wasn't the case this time, as Channel 8's Nicholas Wall reports.
No, it wasn't, Kathy, and for good reason. It's not every day that a four-star general stops by your classroom, and with the stories and experiences a man like General Richard Meyers brings to the table, it's safe to say he had everyone in the class's full attention.
What was that like for you?
Well, it was one of those days where you never expect it. You step outside the Pentagon, it's the bluest of blue skies, a beautiful day.
That's how General Richard Meyers, former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, started his day on September 11, 2001.
You know, we got to force around the world, protect our citizens. Okay, where's the next thing coming? Okay, intel folks, what else are you hearing out there? What's going on?
For the man who spent the years in its wake spearheading the U.S. fight against terrorism, these recollections come with an uncommon authenticity.
Every job they give you, no matter how low on the pole, if you do it well, guess what? The boss is going to see that and say, Dick does a pretty good job of this. Let's give him something more responsible.
Myers, now retired as one of K-State's most distinguished alumni. He is the namesake of Myers Hall, home of K-State's Military Sciences Department and ROTC. Recently, he returned to K-State, sharing experiences and talking public relations with students.
I think it's really important for this country for the senior military to appear as nonpartisan.
Afterwards, Channel 8 caught up with General Myers.
Public service is important for our country, and people being willing to do that. So I'm sure some of the folks in this classroom today will probably find their way there, and I think you'll find that very satisfying. You don't never get rich in public service, but you get fulfilled in ways that maybe other things can't fulfill you.
I mean, he's one of our most distinguished alumni here at K-State, and getting a chance to see him one-on-one in a different atmosphere, just rather than like a lecture, was really cool. So getting his insights and that kind of stuff was really exciting, and of course he had some great stories, and it was very interesting.
And Myers remains fond of his time in Manhattan.
I'm happy to do that. Part of what you do after you've been successful is to give back, and part of the give back idea is to my alma mater, which I'm very fond of. So I love my Kansas roots. I love Kansas State University.
And General Myers currently holds a part-time appointment as the Foundation Professor of Military Science and Leadership. Shanna?
Truly an honorable K-Stater. The tense standoff between protesters and police in the Eastern European country of Ukraine has escalated once again. CNN is reporting that at least 21 people have died as a result of clashes between protesters and police in Ukraine's capital, Kiev, on Tuesday. Police are in the process of clearing the protesters' camp with stun grenades and water cannons. Protesters lit a ring of fire around their camp to keep the police out. The protesters are calling for early elections, and the protesters began after Ukraine's president turned down a trade agreement with the European Union for closer ties with Russia.
On February 12th, the Kansas House passed House Bill 2453. The bill would offer legal protection to individuals and businesses that refuse services for same-sex couples if they have sincerely held religious beliefs opposing same-sex relationships. Supporters of the bill say that it promotes religious freedom. Opponents say it legalizes discrimination. Kansas lawmakers believe that the bill is unlikely to pass the Kansas Senate.
K-State is used to having extravagant speakers such as presidents and entertainers, but for the Black Student Union, they got their profile guest, Harry Belafonte.
Channel 8 reporter Johnny Harvey was there in McCain Auditorium, hearing words of power and influence.
Thank you. Harry Belafonte is in his 80s now. He had to use a cane to get to the podium. But when he got there, an ageless voice captivated the audience.
It's about the fact that every day I look into the face of my grandchildren and my 2 great-grandchildren, and I say, I think we failed.
An audience of all colors was spellbound by an icon from the 60s, Harry Belafonte.
The greatest betrayer of black interests and the greatest betrayer to the black cause is black people.
He came to inspire.
When last did you say the name Frederick Douglass to your sons or your daughters? When last have you ever mentioned the name Robeson? When last have you ever talked about the great struggle of black people to overcome the inequities? What have you done to these children whom you say are lost? What did you do in contributing to that loss?
It was in the Civil Rights Movement when Harry Belafonte, along with his good friend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., started to educate.
Thank God that Dr. King reached out and called me one day and said, Mr. Belafonte, I need to talk to you. And we met in the basement of a church in New York, Abyssinia Baptist, and we exchanged thoughts, and I became part of his mission because I believed in the mission, and I also believed in him.
Music put Belafonte into the spotlight.
Daylight come and we want to go home. And I don't know what you came here to hear. If you came here to hear, Dale, Dale, did that. I've been there.
Belafonte had a deeper message.
And if that's all we continue to pursue and have no regard for the moral consequence, and certainly for the life consequence, then I think we
Time has not weakened the strength of Harry Belafonte's message. His talent for promoting social change is as strong as ever.
So have you been inspired by that, Johnny?
I actually have. I've always thought of myself as a person of other people, so hearing his message just strengthened that for me.
We're going to take a quick break, but coming up, a national organization practices how they would respond in the event of a crisis.
So stay tuned.
Until the explosions began. Until a blast tossed him more than 300 feet. Then it became the event that changed Kevin Saunders forever. The body of this K-State alum was broken, but his spirit, well, that spirit not only survived, it thrived. Against all odds, Saunders transformed himself into the world's greatest wheelchair athlete, one of America's premier motivational speakers, and the first Paralympian appointed to the President's Council on Physical Fitness, Sport, and Nutrition. Where there's a Wildcat, there's a way.
Welcome back. I'm Kathy Dahl.
And I'm Shanna Schmidt. Crisis, cattle, and college students, an exercise on how not to panic the public. At the Leadership Center, students took on a challenge of dealing with the potential animal health crisis.
It was a great opportunity to hone our investigative questioning skills.
Channel 8 was invited to attend the conference and put on the journalistic heat.
Kansas State University sample was found presumptive positive for foot and mouth disease. The Plum Island sample was also positive for foot and mouth disease. The United States Department of Agriculture Foreign Animal Disease Diagnostication declared this a foreign animal disease event.
When did you notice that they had this? What date and time was that?
the day that the cattle had first started showing signs?
Yes.
There's terrorism involved, and leave it there. Don't go any further.
If they are carrying signs of the disease.
So this will not be the normal rush hour traffic then?
No, it should.
Right now. Oh, okay.
That's where. Window to this thing.
We have no evidence, and that's just it. I mean, that's quite one of the talking points.
Maybe the Kansas Department of Agriculture would like to.
I can refer that to KC.
Man, every time I turn around, there's just a question that I was about probably 60% prepared for. It's a great real-life experience. I'm really thankful for the opportunity, and I kind of look forward to doing something like this again.
It's a hard major learning experience was not only about how to handle a crisis, but it was also about how to handle the media.
In a real-world event right now, porcine epidemic diarrhea is posing a major threat to the pork industry throughout the United States. PED has been found in Kansas, Nebraska, and as far away as Ohio. PED is highly contagious to pigs only and wipes out 100% of the piglets in a herd. During a recent visit to Kansas State University's swine unit, it was obvious that they are taking this threat seriously. There were signs posted around the building and procedures in place to protect the pigs from the risk of infection.
On February 18th, Brent Wegner of Colorado Springs, Colorado, was arrested for the sale of illegal drugs. Police found marijuana in his car, and Wenger had been released on $10,000 bond. Riley County Police have notified the public of a rape that was reportedly committed in Manhattan. A woman told police that a man she knew had violated her. The incident was said to have taken place on February 14th. Riley County Police also have notified the public of yet another rape. A woman told police that she had previously been taken advantage of by a person about her age whom she knew.
A funeral for Junction City woman Amanda Clemens will take place February 21st. 2 suspects have been charged with first-degree murder and a third with aiding and abetting first-degree murder. Police discovered a body that matches Amanda Clemens' description but have not officially verified that it's her. She was reported missing February 7th.
Wichita police have arrested a suspect accused of killing recent K-State graduate Daniel Flores at a Wichita radio station. He was found dead in the basement of Steckline Communications where he had worked. The suspect, Antoine Banks, is the ex-boyfriend of one of Daniel's co-workers. Daniel was a friend of colleagues and many students at the K-State School of Journalism.
You can step up. Feel that without even talking to anyone, that it's welcoming. The administrators and faculty, like, they remember your name.
Anywhere you go, someone's there to help you and to smile at you.
Half of campus is going to be wearing purple, and you know that there's that K-State pride.
It's really evident that you can do something and you can be somebody and you can really define yourself here.
I'm a part of the campus.
K-State to me is home.
And that kind of gives me a sense of place.
Who is going to help safely feed 9 billion people in the year 2050? Who will design sustainable cities that can flourish? Who is going to shed light on dark matter and origins of the universe? Where will we teach the scientists who will engineer our future? At one of the world's top research universities, Kansas State University.
K-State Student Radio brings every game to K-State fans on the Wildcat 91.9.
Line's going to take a pitch out to the right. Hubert dices his way up and into the end zone for the Wildcat touchdown. Takes the snap. He's going to roll out. He's going to throw deep over the middle of the field for Tyler Lockett. Catches it. 15-10, 5, touchdown, Kansas State.
For all of your K-State sports coverage, tune into the Wildcat 91.9.
We're joined now by Jessica Slack, Vice President of the Riley County Humane Society. And who is your friend?
This is Henry. He's a 5-year-old cat, a mixture of, we think, several different things, including Siamese, which is why he's got these beautiful markings, his flame point ears and everything, and a little bit longer hair than an average domestic short hair kitty. He's a lover, as you can tell.
How long has he been with you guys?
He's been with us for several months, I would say. He's actually at our Petco location where they're generous and allow us to have a couple of our adoptable animals, cats, with them to have more awareness with the public, more visibility for adoption purposes.
And how would someone go about adopting him?
Well, it's a pretty easy process. We have a very user-friendly website. All of the application materials to adopt are the adoption contract and everything. An explanation there is on the website, downloadable forms that you can fill out and submit.
So how soon could someone bring this little one home?
Oh gosh, usually we ask for a little bit of patience because we're an all-volunteer organization in terms of processing the application paperwork, but usually our turnaround is pretty quick. We're motivated to get these guys into forever homes as quickly as we can. So a couple of days usually is when you hear back from us.
He's really a cutie.
He is a really
He's a handsome boy. He's a love and very, very laid back and sweet.
So, do you know, is he good with children or with dogs?
He's basically good with everybody as far as we can tell. He's just a real gentleman, very polite and sweet, and he didn't make a peep on the car ride over. He was just laying in his kennel, just happy as could be, and he's excellent.
So he travels really well then.
Very well, yeah. A couple meows here and there, but he just kind of settled in for the ride and loved it.
So, go ahead. Are there lots of other cats available as well besides him?
Yep, there sure are. And we use Pet Finder quite a bit to show pictures because obviously the cage space at Petco and now PetSmart, we have some spaces as well. It's pretty limited. So we have a handful of cats available there where you can actually go and visit them in person. And then a lot of photos on Pet Finder with information on each of the adoptable animals. Show your handsome face, buddy.
And I was going to ask, is it difficult to adopt the older cats versus the kittens?
It can be, definitely. I think that we always struggle with adult and older senior animals. And we try to do things to allow awareness of the more difficult kind of time we have with adopting those animals. We even reduce adoption fees and things like that to try to help allow people to make an option of an older animal rather than a kitten or puppy, which are always easy to find homes for.
Well, he looks like a real sweetheart. He shouldn't have any trouble finding a home.
Yeah, he's excellent. And you know what you've got with him. He's an adult boy and has his sweet personality.
Yeah.
Well, he's adorable. Thank you so much for bringing him for us today, and hopefully he can get a home. So
thank you for having us.
Kind of at home right here on the station.
He is.
Oh.
And we're joined by our weatherman, Matt Harrison, who will tell us what to expect in the week ahead.
Matt, what does Mother Nature have planned for us this week?
Ladies, I have to admit, it's pretty gorgeous outside, but it's not as beautiful as you ladies are.
Oh, thank you.
I do have to admit, though, we are going to have a lot of surprising weather. So, I mean, I don't know what to say. It seems like, winter is starting to lose and everything is just starting to come out. But, hey, you can never know. But we do have to take a look, at the weather actually in the nation and in Kansas and how everything is going. But, you never really can tell. But, Weather for the most part, is kind of tricky, but hey, what can you do? But anyways, so yeah, we're gonna have some surprising, warmth, cold, but we have stuff all over the nation. But back to you guys. Okay, so as you can tell, outside we still got leaves off. Hopefully stuff is gonna start growing back, but you can never really tell because as with the trees and everything that are growing. But anyways, enough of that. We're going to go ahead and start looking at the nation. But as you can tell, we have a huge contradictive, setup with the nation goes. As you can see up in Seattle, we've got 45, and then on the opposite direction, down in the south, northeast or so, we have, say, 62, 80 down in Florida. So everything is just all over the place in the nation. However, we can start looking at the actual national activity that we can start looking at, what exactly is going on out in the map. So we'll just move on. So as you can see, we got a lot of high pressure over in the west or so. So a lot of clouds too, not to mention. So that's going to be more or less, it's kind of tricky. But that we are going to have some sunlight. It seems like we're going to have a lot of activity, up in Kansas more or less. But So we got a lot of sun around in our area with Manhattan, Johnson County area, stuff like that. But we do have a low pressure system that is moving in. As you guys saw earlier, we had a lot of clouds rolling in, so we have a chance for rain later tonight, sometime tomorrow. So that's more or less. And then our 5-day forecast, as you can tell, right now it's wonderful. It's going to be 60 today with a low of 40. Clouds a little less, as you can tell, they were rolling in. We do have a chance for rain on Thursday. And then let's see, on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're going to have still some lows, so it's going to be kind of jumpy, but for the most part, it's just going to be nice weather here on out. So what can you say? It's going to be beautiful, it's going to be active, but hey, what can you do? It's going to be a wonderful week for us. Back to you, ladies.
Well, thank you, Matt, for that update. Coming up next, a look at sports and the trappings of love.
Since opening its doors, the International Animal Health and Food Safety Institute has had literally thousands of people take advantage of the facilities and academic programs that are being developed. K-State Olathe offers a unique opportunity for scientists from industry and academia to work side by side, focused on addressing real-life issues and training the workforce. Progress is being achieved. K-State Olathe, now open for business.
Choose your direction and navigate the road to success. Discover opportunities. Make connections. Reach your destination. Earn a degree online from Kansas State University. Choose your direction. We'll help navigate.
It was Valentine's Day and love was in the air.
Or one could say Cupid was on double duty.
For the young and the old, it's a good thing Cupid's been at this for a while. Channel 8 reporter Lindsay McNary went to see how well he has done his job.
Cupid and Valentine's Day affects all generations. It's a holiday of fun and meaning. What's love got to do with it?
Getting all the treats and goodies. And it's definitely not about love at all.
But for some, it is.
This year my husband bought me a car for Valentine's Day, and it covers the past 21 Valentines and the future 5 in exchange for the lack of diamonds I've received over the years.
Oh, she kind of made comment she wanted to pick one out, and so it turned out to be a red car for Valentine's Day.
James and Sherry McNary have been married for 21 years, but not everyone gets a car.
A normal Valentine's Day usually is going to work, coming home, he has supper made, and usually just will picnic out, watch a good movie, or go out to eat, and just enjoy the evening.
Mike and Linda Klepper have been married for 40 years. Humor and patience is the heartbeat of their partnership.
He had been gone for a while. He came back, and it was April Fool's Day. We went to a movie, and he asked me to marry him. I thought he was kidding. I said yes. And then realized he was serious, but the ring was really pretty, so I decided to keep it. And him. Oh yeah, him too. I kept him.
So, is a happy wife a happy life?
Oh, you bet. I understand that someday. Your other half.
Well, that would have to be from my dad, because I'm just an 8-year-old kid and I don't have a wife.
So, what does it take to make your special love potion number 9?
Give 100% to your spouse. Give and receive, and be proud of your wife.
Kathy, wouldn't you like a new car for Valentine's Day?
Yeah, but a car is not really my idea of romance. I would rather have a quiet evening with my husband.
But you know, I've been married 17 years, and all the diamonds I'd add up in that time wouldn't cover the cost of the price of a car, so.
Diamonds may buy you love, but they won't drive you anywhere.
I guess love is a many splendored thing.
Now from Cupid's arrow to Shane Southwell's layup, it's been a hectic week for the K-State Wildcats, hasn't it, Sean?
Yeah, it really has been. Emotions have been running high as K-State sports has been on one of the wildest roller coaster rides in recent memory. Men's basketball beat KU at home, women's basketball scored a win in their Play for K game, and K-State baseball started its Big 12 title defense. The men's basketball team scored its biggest win of the year on Monday, February 10th. They beat the then 8th-ranked Kansas Jayhawks 85-82 in overtime. Let's check out some of the highlights. Shane Southwell drives to the basket and flushes it back to Thomas Gibson. That gave the Wildcats some early momentum. DJ Johnson drives inside and scores on Perry Ellis. He had 9 points on the night. Marcus Foster kicks it to Will Spradling for the huge 3 in overtime to give K-State a 1-point lead. And then the win sends K-State storming the court for the first win over the Kansas Jayhawks for the first time since 2011. It was chaos all around as the Wildcats scored a signature win for Bruce Weber's bunch. Now, K-State's second game went into overtime as well, but the cards weren't in K-State's favor this time. The Baylor Bears bested K-State 87-73 in a double overtime thriller. Baylor guard Brady Heslip hit a three-pointer at the buzzer in regulation to tie the game and send it to overtime. The Wildcats are now 17-8 overall and 7-5 in Big 12 play with just 6 games left in the regular season. Now, the women's basketball team also went 1-1 recently with a loss to Texas, but a win over Texas Tech. Let's roll the ladies' highlights. Kindred Wiesman hits a tough shot in the paint for the and one in a really back-and-forth game for the Wildcats. Katia Like hits a three-pointer against the Longhorns. She scored 13 in the contest. But the Wildcats struggled with turnovers during the game, committing 17 of them on the night. The Longhorns went on to win the game 69-63. However, the Wildcats rebounded from their loss to Texas with a win over Texas Tech in their annual Play for K game, which featured the Wildcats donning pink jerseys and free pink shirts being given out to the crowd. Now, as both K-State basketball teams head towards the postseason, K-State baseball, which is fresh off a campaign that saw them win the Big 12 title and host an NCAA regional tournament, started off its 2014 season on the wrong foot, following a precedent set by football and men's basketball. The baseball team was swept in a 3-game series on the road at Cal Poly by scores of 3-0, 5-2, and 10-1. The 3 runs that K-State mustered in the 3 games was a disappointment to start off the year, as the Wildcats were known for their hot bats last season. The baseball team has its home opener here in Manhattan on February 28th, where they host a 3-game series with Milwaukee. Hopefully enough of the snow has melted by then for the teams to go find the infield.
Hopefully that warmer weather will help them out. Now, the Batcats came into the season pretty highly ranked, didn't they, Sean?
Yeah, they really did. They were picked by league coaches to win the Big 12 in the conference's preseason poll. They were also ranked 18th nationally by the National Collegiate Baseball Writers of Association preseason poll. So we'll see if the K-State can rebound from this shaky start, that 3-game sweep, and live up to those high expectations.
Thanks, Sean.
Well, that's all we have time for in this edition of Channel 8 News. Join us for next week's edition of Channel 8 News.
For Kathy, Sean, and Matt, and the rest of the Channel 8 News team, thanks for watching.